America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to Brownstown Town Board meeting. We will go ahead and proceed with approval of minutes from our March 16th meeting as well as our March 26th special meeting. Any questions, concerns over the minutes as presented?
I'm looking at March 16th minutes, presented.
Just make the motion as their second. Second. Brian makes the second. All those in favor of approving March 16th minutes as presented, say aye.
And
Those opposed, same sign. And so that,
Are you doing both together?
that was just for the 16th. We also have March 26th. There'll be a motion on it.
Motion approved the minutes from March 26th.
Okay, you make the motion, is there a second?
second.
Second, all those in favor of the minutes as presented, say aye. Opposed, same sign. We'll move on to the accounts payable for the period ending that.
Make a motion to approve accounts payable April 2026.
Okay, the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Kristen, just closer. Okay, the second, all those in favor of the accounts payable presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Moving on, we've got two payroll vouchers, one for the period ending March 20th, 2026, and the second for period ending April 3rd.
Motion to approve both payroll vouchers, one dated March 20th and one dated April 3rd.
Okay, Tim makes the motion, is there a second? Second. Brian makes the second, all those in favor of the payrolls as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we move on to old business, and first up on the agenda is the 4th of July parade.
Good evening, and thank you again for having us. We are still proceeding with the parade planning. Things are going well. We've had a very positive response as far as participants go. Deb Schwartz is helping me kind of contact organizations, and people are getting really excited about this. So, we've started to generate some interest, but along with that, I've had, some questions. Obviously, one of the main ones is we do need to finalize the route. I know the last time I was here, we discussed the potential for the closure of 50. I didn't know if we had, if you'd been able to give me more thought about that, if that's something that you still wanted to consider. And if not, what your thoughts were on what the best route would be. We had, had a couple of recommendations, but one of the concerns was they were very small. And I do agree. I think that, if we were to just focus on the downtown area here, depending on the size of the parade, we may end up kind of swallowing our tail or chasing our tail very closely a little bit. But of course, that is really, we're going to defer to you and what you think would be best. I was not here when the parade happened in town. I didn't live in this area, so I don't really have a knowledge of what the prior route was that was used, but I'm open to any suggestions that the board may have in that regard.
How many folks do you anticipate?
Ideally, probably around 40 to 50 is kind of what I would estimate at. It would be great to see as many as 60 or 70, but I just don't know that's really, I believe that, if this goes well, there might be a potential for more in the future, but I would probably shoot between 35, 40, somewhere in there.
And mine's a little higher.
Yeah, the estimate's a little bit higher than mine. I'm always a little
She's more conservative on, well, if you start taking into effect the, like the antique cars, or if we
Right.
have any walking groups or bicycle riders, that type of thing, then it could really stretch out pretty long.
Yeah. And there may be some organizations that have more than one, if you're talking about like a couple of vehicles, we've got a veteran motorcycle organization here in Jackson County, and they would like to have some riders, so, it would be pretty long when you add up those kinds of things. But again, it's how much trouble versus reward as, as far as closing 50 goes, and if that's a realistic ask, I'm not sure. We would like to put the route on flyers, because, people are gonna wanna know, where should we stand to watch the parade? That's a great question. So if we can have the route information on as many of the promotional material as possible, I think that would kind of help people plan ahead as far as, their families are concerned, where to watch and that sort of thing.
Bless you.
So it's a traditional route that we always did too long. Started at the high school, went down to the Christian church, all the way up Spring Street, down to Stuckwish Plains, here. Very funny. I'm going on board. What do you think?
Well,
I mean, but that way, in high school, you organize them all, you get all the way
Right.
in a line all the way through. Is it Carl Street Garden out with them, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying, like you get them all lined up.
Right.
You got 40 lines, and then you take off from there, whether you do Bridge or Spring or Walnut, it wouldn't matter, because you end up down here anyway, but.
right, well, I guess at first, one of our concerns was, up and down the hill with some of the veterans, but we kind of talked, and most of our veterans are gonna be riding in cars, we think, or vehicles, so there's not gonna be a lot of elderly. I like your idea because that's what everyone knows.
Yeah. that's what I was saying.
Because here we're trying to change it totally different. We're gonna line up by the group home down that way, try to come up here, go in front of the library, and then in front of here, and nobody's gonna know. What if a bunch of people are sitting,
Well, I mean, everybody knows
Parking
that.
would be good too, you're.
right, in the parking and lining up so I really like that idea. What do you think?
Well, most of it's downhill, the only,
Yeah.
go up a little bit. To turn it up to John Robinson.
Yeah, I guess
and
it
then-
felt like it was maybe a little long.
And then the rest of it's down.
Do you think it's long?
I like the old because that's what everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone, if they're sitting on Spring or the next road over, then we're like, boop, 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 hey, what happened to trade?
If they're exhausted, they could feel off. We're not going to force someone who's too tired to continue. I think it sounds great. I mean, that route.
That's a noted route, and it's been established.
Could you walk me through that?
So, with Watermelon Festival or whatever all these years, they always started it at the or the high school, all the way up Elm Street, like that's where you
The staging down at the auditorium.
Yes.
stage them down there, you get them all lined up, everybody down there, and they take off. It's a graduation now, I think, you take them.
Graduation outfits for you.
Well, 'cause it
So
goes
you
to
take
the-
a right, coming out, then you go down to the Christian church, take a left.
Okay.
And then they always came down Spring, well, if you wanted to do, come up, like whatever, anyway, they always came down Spring. Or the second city came all the way through town, yeah, everybody lined up, take a right here. And it ended at Dairy Queen, they dispersed at Dairy Queen.
Which would probably work this year, but next year that won't be on the lot.
Correct.
But, what could you thinking?
Now, the only thing that we do have something else I wanted to ask about with another question, and this may make a difference. I know that we had kind of wanted to draw attention to the downtown area. That's just really, a matter of what you guys want. I don't have, the History Center has volunteered to be open during the event. They want to participate as well. So, they'd offered the use of their facilities very generously as far as restrooms go. But food trucks, I keep getting asked, are you gonna have food trucks? For the parade. That wasn't something that I had originally considered, but there has been a lot of interest. I think our food trucks in this area are well loved for good reason. But
Well, even for the Easter egg hunt, we've just put them on
Yeah.
Walnut between Main and, Sugar.
Could we do
shut-
that?
Yeah, we can shut that down.
I think that would be great. And then there's the option, maybe you could just come across and if you want to, visit a food truck, they'll be
And
there.
they sit in Harry Park and eat.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm
That's
following
still,
you guys agree. But that's easy to close that, and that's where we always put them.
yeah,
We just did the egg hunt this weekend.
yes, it was a huge, I saw people everywhere. It was amazing. So that would be wonderful. If we could do that, that would be great too. I don't know what the process is for, they just get their own permits or if we need to have like a head count as far as the food trucks are concerned or who they coordinate that with.
Just with you,
Okay,
they can pretty much, they
they know what they're doing.
they pretty much all have.
Great.
And actually for private events, they don't have to have it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, fantastic.
but just tell us for sure, and then that day before, we'll
Okay.
have, the street guys will leave the barricades out there. And then that morning, someone will have to block the road.
Locker room, okay.
Now, is that right in front of the History Center by the library, or is that? Right.
Other side of the courthouse.
Oh, okay, so it's like where our Legion is.
Yes.
Yes,
that's presently-
yes.
Oh,
right
okay,
there,
Right
okay.
up and down there.
Yeah.
So that might, that.
That might work, yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're not gonna have them.
So we'll be
We
staging
didn't
at the
approve
high
it
school.
for the
and
Easter egg
then
hunt, I just
Okay,
did it as part of, when you booked the Easter egg hunt. I put that we need to close, we need to have Sean and the guys close the road.
Has there been a resolution yet to approve the parade?
We did it for that.
Okay. So,
It was around 10 days.
Yes,
yeah.
so it will involve it or not?
yeah.
I think what we need to do is probably come up with a contingency plan that doesn't cross 50 and then have one that does, and we need to dig into that.
I said, well, how are we gonna route the traffic that's just coming through on 50 during the parade? That's my only question on that. Where do you send them? Originally, I was thought of turning at Lucas Ackerman, but then you're crossing the parade route at the top of the hill. You send them back
Just to
through.
clarify, if we're gonna close 50, we need to get a specific permit from the NDOT to do that, and I'd like to get that process started as soon as possible to make sure the route is planned can be executed as the organizers are envisioning. It shouldn't be a big deal, it's done electronically, I know the process, so typically the chief of police does it across the municipalities, but if you want to point on that, or if you want me to handle it, I can, I just want to make sure that we do it. And we're gonna need, I need some specific data for you with respect to insurance, the matter, post route, things like that. But I just want to make sure it goes off. So it's a great idea.
So on that regard, if we present an alternate route,
Mhm.
we need to then man that, and we're gonna have the police officers kind of, we trade that, we need to have some kind of.
Yeah, the Grafton police will have to be involved. Part of the application process, we will make sure that we have a plan in place for traffic flow.
And the good thing is, it is on a Saturday, July 4th. And we won't be so busy. We'll go in with the big
Well, Tom
campers.
should know,
and
though, he's been here forever, and he should know how we route them. I think we routed them. Stopping them back behind. All the way through. Yeah.
I could turn the Bridge Street
Yeah.
and just come in behind us there.
Mhm.
Again, we're happy either way.
Right.
We'll go
You
with
think make
whatever
it
you,
easy.
whatever is easiest for the town.
We just wanna make sure we get it right. I think it needs to go down Main Street.
Yeah, like if we can.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. You need a place where you can get everybody lined up.
Yeah.
So it's not a.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
We need someone to draw the route like we just said, so then we can get it to NDOT.
Okay.
Okay, so as of right now, regarding that motion, make sure we close those streets for food trucks.
And we made a motion for the proposed route, so we don't need to. Or no, we made it pending. So,
So do we need to make a motion to close down too? Line them all, line them up? Or we don't have to do that?
City Street don't even have to, just. Because we're, well,
So because that's what they're lining up, so like,
what time, do you have a time? Can I start?
12, yep,
so from 11 to 10.
yeah, that's what we were,
So then they put signs up and down Spring,
yeah,
do not park on the side of the road from the
such and such.
yes, and then everybody need to move the car.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say, and just to be,
No, I don't know, 9, 'cause that gives you time to move your car, and I do
Okay.
that.
Okay,
From 9 AM to. And you guys can make the little signs and. Put them up.
okay,
You can do that.
we'll say ballpark when it's done.
What are you saying, 9 to what? 2? The parade starts at 12? No, no.
9 till the end of the parade. I mean, parade ending. I don't know.
do you want us to, where would you suggest that we place those signs, like, do you want them staked? Or how is
I
that?
thought it would have been the past, well, I mean, how
What do you think
much.
it's sort of staked in, in the grass next to the curb?
Okay. So we'll need to
We'll have
make
those
those.
out when we put them on stage early.
Yeah, I just, and put it on TikTok, social media.
Yeah, we'll put it on the town Facebook.
Thank you.
We can put it on sewer bills.
Okay.
What do you want the sign to say? No parking today,
The date.
Nine to
Due
one.
to the parade, or,
Yeah.
you know, like
that, like you just put. And then we'll get it out ahead of time too, so that's one should be surprised.
So we'll come out of Elm Street, which is probably not Elm Street anymore,
right,
right?
I don't know where that
Turn,
is.
turn right and then right on the alongside of Christian Church. Then we turn left and then like we're passing your house
We go past my house.
and we'll
way
go
down.
all the way down to 50 and then we'll turn right, go all the way through past the courthouse here and we end up at the old Dairy Queen parking lot.
And you want me to get you a map? Okay,
Okay.
we can do that.
I just think you, like, you could stick with the same route, but people know for.
That makes it a whole lot simpler. To see in the parking lot, you can turn around if they have lights down there. In the group home parking lot.
And at Cross. No, this is Cross. What's that street over there? Yeah, it says Taylor gets, I think we got you and. Yeah. And that's all you need right now.
Well, like, keep that,
Okay.
get that on us first, I mean, you said that you want to close Elm as well, or you want to?
Well, we'll have to close for the parade. And that's what we'll have.
People wouldn't be parking there, but you know what, bunch of people would be.
We don't want people.
Yeah.
So you would just close your whole parade route during window. We can put a picture of that on Facebook.
So we can leave that. once
That would
we
be a good
confirm
idea.
that.
From anybody.
Hope people know what it's
So
there.
so right now, we're Walnut,
Yeah.
Walnut, Pigeon Sugar, like 9 to 2.
Or you can walnut picture sugar, right?
That's for the food truck.
That's for the food truck, right here, that's part,
Yeah, that's correct. So we'll approve that now.
yes. That motion?
Next one, motion.
Okay. Okay, and it's in the motion to close Walnut Street from 50 Sugar, Saturday, July 4th, from 9 AM to 2 PM.
Mhm.
Okay. Will there be a second? There's a link to a second. All those in favor of the road closure, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. That passed.
So should I have not done that for the Easter egg hunt without talking to you guys?
We can button this one out. And then go through.
Okay.
And then the last thing I have is, we had talked about bunting. There might have been bunting at one point in time that went around the courthouse, but I've not been able to really track that down. I'm not sure. Somebody said it might be in the attic at the senior citizens building, but I have not made the journey to see whether or not we have it, and if so, what kind of condition it would be in, and, you know, who would be the responsible party for placing that. I just don't know.
I don't think it's there. I was there the other day and I think it's just Jeff Christmas.
Okay, so there may not actually be any really.
I didn't see it,
Okay.
obviously.
And the county doesn't know anything.
I-
That's county property instead of town.
Exactly, and I'm not sure that they're really, I don't know that they know either. I kind of got some question mark looks when I was talking about this, so I'll continue to pursue that. I know somebody had mentioned maybe placing flags around the route. Is that something that you still would like to see us do? I want to just make sure that it doesn't get, it's really just me and Deb for right now. So I want to make sure that maybe, you know, we're not biting off more than we can chew. We're obviously gonna, see if we can get some volunteers to kind of help. And if you know of anybody who might be interested in that, we'd appreciate it. But, you know, I just, again, want to make sure that it's.
Well, I have a meeting scheduled with the Legion and, in Seymour, and so they've expressed the
Yes.
interest to collaborate with that, so I think I can get about 10, 15 extra people to help.
Okay.
So volunteers, I talked to them on Thursday, but they're very excited about working together.
That'd be helpful.
Cause
And
they're a
then-
much bigger organization.
We did confirm that we are okay with candy.
Okay.
Is that still how you feel about it? Okay. All right, yeah, I had several people ask me about that, and I said, well, I think we're on board with it, but I just want to double check before I say it.
And who's your Grand Marshal gonna be?
So we have a couple, the oldest veteran in
That's what I
Jackson
was
County.
gonna say.
It's, I think, do you know if
I don't know, you were working it out.
I know, I saw that, but I didn't.
So I just lost his name, I apologize. You guys know him. He's a neat guy. He has a lot to say about different things. What is his
Is
name?
he the one that drives the big Cadillac?
Yes,
Oh, gosh.
shoot. He turned 91. He may not be the oldest, but he's the oldest able, but yeah, thank you. The oldest individual who might be able to participate, we'll just put it that way.
That's exciting.
I'll get his name to you, I'm sorry, I
No,
just
I'm-
spaced it.
Yep, cause we saw him drive right by when we were at the restaurant the other day.
He goes to the courthouse all the time. Oh, what is his name? He's a nice guy, but. Oh, shoot, it'll come to me. I'll let you know after the meeting.
It's one of the oldest able-bodied veterans we can find.
Yes,
And he's quite a character.
he is a character.
Just blur that for custody.
Very good. I think that's all I have. That's,
Yeah, that's all.
you have anything?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are
appreciate
excited,
it.
and everyone that we've talked to, that is very excited about it. It's a lot different, I'm not panhandling for money or asking people for anything, I'm just inviting them to join, and they're like. I've got a couple other ideas, I've got a family that's willing to volunteer, have to be related to me, but anyway, she has 5 children, I'm gonna get red, white, and blue balloons, and I'm gonna get a helium tank. And as the parade is going along, we'll be handing the people out white and blue balloons. The only question I had was is it okay if I could tie some balloons around the courthouse? We would naturally, kind of, take care of them afterwards
Okay,
and
Yeah.
just do them brought out.
Anything the
Commissioners.
commissioners have to approve the.
Yeah.
anything at the
So who
courthouse.
has to approve that?
the county commissioners.
So besides handing out red, white, and blue balloons, we'll be handing out flags.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to next, John Lawson with Main Street flag upgrade. You should receive.
Yeah, I gave her all the board, just some different ideas than my original, and I'll explain why that's different than my original. But thanks for having me back, let me come back, and I may have to come back again once we get kind of a little bit more solid, but it's kind of been, it's been a learning experience, and I want to add on that, I will be panhandling for money.
And I've already offered you some.
Yeah, and you and many others are kind of waiting, to donate. And I've been contacted after my first time here a few weeks ago. I had a lot of people reach out to me, people I know, people message me through social media. People stop me at church, people stop me on the street, wherever, and, a lot of people are eager to get involved with donating. It's kind of been a little bit of an uphill battle, learning experience, and I think Tim gave me the Duke requirements, which were very helpful. And to find my stuff, the original plan would be just a traditional flagpole with like a 3x5 flag. But then you have to go into anti-tangle. Those are about $50 a piece. Finding mounting brackets to around poles like this was very difficult. I was only able to locate one. And I looked all over online, every flag company that I could come across in the United States. I found one at Home Depot. It was about $50 for one bracket, one mounting bracket. Then you have to get the hardware to mount it, strap it. We're looking, my cost on that is probably around $200 or more per flag. Okay, so a week ago, my wife and I went to Reds games, over Red Log Reds games, and just fate had it. I said, why don't we take the scenic route back and just go straight Highway 50? And it was what I did as a kid. And we went through North Bend, Ohio, which is right on the line, and that's what I gave you. That's what they have. So one process, phone calls, emails, and I know everybody's busy. It's hard to get. I sent an email in days or a couple of weeks till I get answers back, and still plugging away. Called Celery, Celery signs or Celery. He does the banners for Main Street. He can do what is on that page. I'll send those to him. Not sure total cost, but probably $90 to $100 for the banner. We'll see if we can get him to work with us on that. One of my things is, I know the last time I was here, and Zach was talking about, co-mingling funds, we can't do that. Question is, do we need a nonprofit? Do we need a separate organization? I reached out to talk to Connor Barnett, of course he's been busy at his hands, trying to get all the rock and rhyme lined up. Luke, is that here? Jerry. Luke Melton, talked to him a few times, emailed back and forth with Luke, and Luke was very positive about maybe rolling that underneath the Main Street and creating a separate account. That might be the easiest way to do that.
I agree with Luke's assessment.
Okay.
And so as a 501(c), it's the most efficient and donor friendly active, for them to raise and manage the funds. If we have the authority to take them into either a general fund or we actually create a specific restricted fund and take that money in. But then there's a lot of red tape with State Board of Accounts if we take that route.
Yeah.
So you could have Ewing Main Street raise the funds, and then they could either make a one-time donation to the town, or they themselves could actually just purchase the town for approval. Would require a memo of understanding between Ewing Main Street and the town. But I think that's a great approach.
Is that kind of what they've done on the Ryan banners and all the other stuff that they've?
I'm actually not sure.
I don't know if there's any, they've gone through, you guys, my original thing was just kind of you guys first.
Yeah,
And,
we appreciate that.
yeah, and I know the poles belong to Duke, but, you know, and then it's probably state property when you go easements along 50.
Yeah, you can get over there.
Uh,
But Brownstown, you and Main Street expressed a willingness to,
Luke was very positive. You know, Connor was the one time I talked to him. I sent Luke the pictures that I've got there. Sent those to him Friday. I didn't hear back from him yet today, so I'll probably call him. Funeral business, who knows? But I'll probably call him tomorrow. Try to see kind of where he's at on it. I personally think that's probably the best way, because I know on their board, they do have somebody from Blue Company, and, you know, they can, do the money, we just gotta be upfront, above board, or everybody's money goes. Of course, I know we're gonna, I'll see corporate donations, that's kind of more the main part, individuals, if individuals want to donate, I know. Dan and Deb say if they want to donate, I'll donate personally to it, but, you know, and a way of recognizing those people that do donate it, some way, whatever that may be. Lots of people put banners, publish things, you know, there's, social media, whatever. If you guys would be willing to do something on your town page, on people that may be good. We know it's not your funds going to Brownstown, that may cause too much confusion, I don't know. If we go the alternate route, I counted 32 places we can have our banners of that nature, existing right now. I'd like to have it recurring year after year, not just because it's 250, and so there'd have to be a replacement plan, maybe seek further donations down the road, maybe not quite as much initially, but because they're gonna wear out eventually, they're gonna fade, to replace them, so. I'd like to get it by Memorial Day, if I could. Prior to that would be great, but Memorial Day, then we have June Flag Day, here for the 4th. And then if the Rhine wants to kind of do their thing, they can be a good time to retire those. It'd be nice to leave them up, you know, throughout Veterans Day. I didn't get it, but I don't know, you know, we'll see about that. And then down the road, we may get more brackets, maybe expand it. We'll see, but I don't know if we need a resolution from you guys, or if that's something that comes later after I get got the commitment from Main Street.
well, we will need one to approve the project concept, which may have already occurred. And if one has not been done, then we're gonna need a resolution for the flag concept and authorizing a future memorandum of understanding with, Brownstown Union Main Street.
I don't know that. You guys are all very supportive when I was here back, you know, a few weeks ago, but I don't know if you guys made a motion for that.
I don't believe we can.
Yeah, because it is more information.
I don't recall that, but, I think the community, you know, from just the contacts that I got, I've not heard them negative thing about it. I think it would really address that thing.
It's almost like you're looking at the American flag on every other pole, whatever, and then something similar to 250.
Well, my big emphasis is American flag. I mean, that's where I was to begin with. And I noticed those, you know, they had those kind of blended in, but not every other one. They had more American flags. So, you know, if you just
put a few of them.
maybe every 4th one or something like that. You know, you're not going to be able to use those anymore. So that's going to be a large expense, you know, if you do a lot of them. You know, if you're looking $90, $100 a piece, try to keep that minimum. You know, maybe you could, some of the big supporters, you could get that, maybe hang it up in their business or something like that. But, other than that, just kind of, if you guys got questions, I'll try to answer anything. I may not know.
Duke had requirements for the flag that you're looking at originally, and also this banner stuff.
Well, the stuff that you sent me, yeah, the items that Tim sent me, they actually, the picture, the concept that you shared that Duke had a regular flag below the banners, which I don't think that's gonna work, because it's, you know, vandalism, that's not gonna do it.
Plus, it should be higher.
It should be the top one, and so it just kind of, hit Susan and I when we were driving through Ohio the other day. It's like, she goes, that's what she got to do. Yeah. It would save, you know, you're putting the American flag out, probably less maintenance, easier, less initial cost. Yeah, maybe down the road. See how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Do all the poles have these brackets?
Do what?
Do all the poles have these brackets?
I counted 32.
And they all look like they were
Yeah.
from a maintenance squad.
From I counted 32 that would hold something like that. Originally, the Duke poles through town, I think there were 50s. I got that number. 53 poles.
So what's wrong with the rain use? Like, can you
They use those.
clean that double dip? Use-
That's what I was rating 10. You know, for that.
So right now you're just looking to get the banners that actually will fit. Or the.
Yeah,
structure.
number one, I'm looking at, you know, getting a place to put the money,
Mhm.
get that first, then raise the money, which I don't think that will take a whole lot of time. A lot of people. Civic groups, I've been invited, I'm going to, Exchange Club, soon, 2 weeks. So, I know they are, I don't know how much, they usually do pretty well on donations for things that I've been involved with in the past. So.
Have you measured those?
Celery's got the specs
Okay.
on it. He's got all that because he makes the rock and run. So
Okay, perfect.
he's got it, and I sent
In
him,
case
I
they
sent him all that
decide
stuff, and he
size.
goes, I can do it all.
Okay.
So, that might be an easy route. I wanted American made, you know, I went to the Legion and kind of went up there with these guys after I met with you the last time. Everybody's like, we want American made material, American made flags, so which solves that problem right there. I did,
Last longer too.
he'll get try some of the stuff that's kind of fade resistant, UV, fade resistant. There was a company, you know, I reached out to the mayor of North Bend. I didn't really know exactly what town I was in, because I was driving, you know, we had to get back on Sunday. I was like, so I just got on, I started Googling it. I got it, Western Hills, Western Hills online, and I took Pete Rogers for it. And then I just kept moving my way west, and I got a hold of a little place called Addison. They said, no, but call North Bend, they're the ones that did it. So I got a hold. I called, nobody was in, they only worked Monday, Wednesday, Friday in their office, and then I emailed the mayor, he got right back with me. Sent me, people started emailing me, they gave me a company out of Cincinnati that did those. So the celery would fail, we got it back up for that, and that's all the American made stuff.
I know,
No, like celery fell.
at one point, these brackets, I think, were either up in the senior center or Sean Hadley over at the street corner. We may also want to look at if down the road, if we're looking at maybe getting new brackets, if you got one on both sides, that way you can have maybe.
Yeah.
So be
Both sides.
a one-time photo, every time it takes.
Yeah, and I have no idea what the bracket costs, and I think somebody with Main Street's probably gonna be, where it's at.
I thought I saw a quote a few years back and
Maybe.
15 to 20, or it comes around.
Okay.
It doesn't.
There are, I mean, there's people that. I know Medora's got them, I was in Medora yesterday, they
They
just
do a lot.
they do a lot, they had spring banners up, already, so, you know. There are quite a few of them, so. Medora probably, maybe one of the sessions, it's, but yeah, that'd be a good idea, and I think some just to have as a backup in case those fail at some point.
Cause there's,
So Main Street means no banners in Ewing?
I don't know.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, we got utility poles, on the other side of town,
Probably, my original thought was this
Main Drive.
Highway 50,
Okay.
Main Drive, but
Gotcha.
I'm not opposed to anything.
Nope.
No,
Understand.
nothing like that.
And both of them, Mr. Flowers there.
I look for numbers.
Could be.
Yeah, looking for numbers.
Yeah.
You can have whatever you want.
Just gotta get.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else that's done?
We do the resolution now, wait, why do us do it? You guys approve the project and And in the future, never mind, it's large, and press time, Main Street.
Different neighborhood.
Yes. I mean, that's, they're the ones who most likely to fix that. Or you could say, you know, BEMS or other 501(c)(3) receiving the donations.
Okay, will there be a motion for a resolution?
Motion to approve the flag banner project in conjunction with Brasstown Main Street for Life 501(c) organization.
Crystal makes the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Tim makes the second, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, and so that passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next up, under old business is the salt building.
So we got the quotes for the doors. And that puts me over $507.67 from what you allowed, so.
Not the concrete and the.
And doors, yes, so I would like for you guys to increase my salt building
Total would be 15,507.
67. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the salt building, project for a total amount of 15,507.67.
Okay, Tim makes the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Ron makes a second, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, so that passes.
Thank you.
Anything else from the old business? Hearing none, we move on to new business. And first up will be Ryan Silvers with trash service. 1 year? Okay. Next up would be Darlene Duff at the post office.
Darlene did not come tonight, but I have all the information. Map it around. This is Lakeview, and this is where they had a trouble with the dog that hit the mailman, and they've had trouble there several times. So they want to put one of those mailbox things like they have down in Lucas Ackerman, the metal thing in the big box, and it's got everybody right there. They're gonna do Lakeview and all of Depot. And I talked to Jordan Deck about the corner of their property right here, rather than someone's front yard, because this is just a garage that they don't use very often. And he said that that is fine. He said, let me talk to my dad. He talked to his dad, said everything was fine. It doesn't interfere with their fence or anything. There's plenty of room there. So she just needs you guys to, make a motion that she can notify all her mail people, addresses, that they're gonna have a central location from this point on. Safety reasons and just more convenient.
Who's paying for the mailbox?
They already have it.
Do they have to get unanimous approval
It's
or
up to them.
up to the post office?
Yeah, they could do that anywhere and combine streets and make those.
As of right now, they do the resolution notified. They're waiting for us to.
Approve it, and then they will notify all of their,
Look at the, why they need our approval.
Yeah.
If they can.
maybe they don't, she just wants it. She came originally,
I'm just gonna post our minutes that we officially been notified.
Yeah, I mean, is the mailbox be located on private property?
Mhm.
And they talked to the USPS about this?
That's the USPS talking.
That is her.
Oh, I'm
her.
sorry, okay, all right, yeah, we just,
she came originally to have you guys where you thought it would be best. And so we pulled up the GIS And the only one that's not gonna be in someone's front yard is that property that Dex owns, because it's a garage only, and it has a big privacy fence, but there's a ton of room outside the fence for it. And so I approached Jordan and he said, yes, that's fine.
So I'll ask them to go all the way down to the depot, which area?
It's for all of Depot Street,
Pardon?
it's for all of Depot Street and Lakeview.
Okay.
One of those big metals, and you'll have a
Yeah,
key.
clusters, sure.
Yep. Yes, and they already have it. They just won't install till the you guys. So I don't know that she really needs your approval. She just wanted it presented.
How far does the longest resident have to walk to their house? Is that pretty far walk?
And you can drive your car. It's just like all the newer neighborhoods are doing that now.
Is there gonna be any kind of requirement or ask for, of the town to do a pull-off or anything right there? I feel like that's gonna,
No, he pulls wherever he pulled to deliver door to door and then walks up to that and does it all right there.
but for private resident.
There's all the ones in, Lucas Ackerman, there's no pull off. You just pull up next to it, jump out with your key and get your mail and get back in and go. That's what we had down there. Is what Jordan then has, and he was like, yeah, that sounds great to me.
Just for an Amazon package, you're gonna have something you have to the post office for?
No, there's big ones at the bottom, like all the little ones, and there's big ones at the bottom, and when you open yours, if there's a key in there, you take the key out, open the big one, and it stays in. Once you open it, you can't get that key back out. Get your package and let it go.
Or if it's big enough, they'll still set it at the front door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's any liability if it's got a pull-off, or there's some kind of rear end or any kind of accidents there.
Well, our mailboxes and bumper codes are, we just have like 6 or so on it. We don't have the great big thing they're talking about there, but there's no full off.
No, there's none down there either.
Well,
It's all curved up.
Is that,
we have the same thing, I live in Seaton, and we do
Yeah.
the same thing.
Is your,
There's no pull off.
how wide's deep up? I'm just thinking,
you talking about street?
yeah. I'm
Right,
just
that's all
thinking-
curved and nice, and this is.
I mean, this is, there might be a drop off, there might be
Mhm.
other stuff going on. I'm just thinking, what if?
Isn't that over a hill? Or no?
What?
Isn't that like at the?
It has the same kind of stuff we guys have.
Where they'll put it, it's more level. It's not a hill there by
I
Jordan.
just wonder if somebody's flying down that hill.
It's not that close. It's more toward one end.
There is no specific ordinance at some point with respect to this. Liability, I mean, I understand, first we want to make sure people are safe, and you guys have to ask the absolute right questions. The question is who the authority, if post office is authorized, then it's 100% on private property. So the legal answer is the liability, meaning if there's post office truck stopped in the middle of the road, on a narrow road, they're the ones that are gonna be responsible for it, not us.
They private citizen that live down here, all of a sudden they're not gonna walk, it's a nice FT incline down, back up, like. If their car's parked there, they're getting mail, that's their own responsibility.
Well, if the post office okay it, they're the ones that have jurisdiction over that issue.
So I'm saying,
It's just information for us, not.
yeah, I'm thinking we don't need to do anything. Supposedly, if they make the call, then I don't think we need to do anything.
Yeah, you don't have to approve it, deny it, ratify it.
She wanted to come at first, just to see if you guys had any ideas of where she could put it, and we already took care of that, so that's why she's not here, but she still wanted me to.
I'd say just post the minutes, been presented to the town board.
Okay.
All right, next up, will be Colby Carter with tornado siren.
Colby here? No.
Next up will be Matt Smith with the Ewing Sewer Pickup.
Thanks, guys, for getting us on the agenda. Last minute, I reached out to Ted here a few days ago to kind of fill him in what was going on. When we find ourselves in a situation in Ewing, we got an individual that's willing to buy some land down there and invest into the town, like with 3 duplexes. where we're having a small disconnect, I would call it, is with the actual connection to the the city sewer line. What we've been told by, Scott Hunsucker is that it's going to require 6, so you got 3 individual buildings, 2 units in each building, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. What we've been told is that they want us to ultimately bore the road 6 times, 1 per individual lateral for each home. So like a 2 bedroom, 1 bath on one part of the duplex, you got to bore the road. The other side, you got to bore the road. The second unit, two more bores. The third unit, 2 more bores. So what we're looking at is ultimately 6 bores across the city street in a matter of about 70 feet. We have a solution that I feel would be more economical, and viable for everyone. That doesn't impact the ability for the town to bill and collect, with their existing sewer rates, or nor their tap fees. You know, no one's objecting to the price of the tap fee or paying the tap fees. What they're balking at is the ease of connecting to said sewer. And as you guys can understand, dealing with this stuff on a regular basis, it's a lot more expensive to dig 6 holes and 6 bores than it is 1. So this, as far as a economic impact for said buyer or said seller of these properties, makes it a way higher proposition financially, a bit higher. So we're trying to figure out a way to maybe propose a solution to you guys. We were thinking 1 bore, the pipe that is currently there, or we propose that we use, is more than ample in size to handle any flow that these 3 duplexes could produce. We're talking a 6-inch line which handles multiple, I don't know the exact numbers behind
200
it.
to 300 gallons per minute.
Yeah, a 4-inch line can handle basically 10 dwelling units, and we're just talking 6 total for this particular property. So rather than to have a hole punctured into the city sewer 6 times, cross the road 6 times, pass the road 6 times, we're proposing doing it once. They still pay the tap fees as they would individually on each particular unit, but we're just not physically digging 6 at once. Does that make sense? It's been done multiple ways already. There's no consistency in it. That's why we're here. It's been done with duplexes, 1 line across the road here in town here recently. It's been done 1 line for 1 duplex, so handling 2, you have to cross it once. And it's been done where an individual's been forced to do. He's had 2 duplexes and been forced to do 4 lines. So we're just trying to figure out what the protocol is, how to do it properly and economically feasible for people that are wanting to develop in the town. And also just create a little consistency with it as well. We spend a lot of money, we continue to spend a lot of money on the sewer, and everybody's impacted by that. Rather than to make more people spend more money to ultimately get the same result, why not simplify this a little bit and use logic and be able to move forward and make it a little bit more inviting climate for people who want to build and develop in that south.
Help me better understand how, if you use a 6-inch pipe, how does that collect into that 6-inch pipe? Do you have individual dwellings with their own line?
You would have your individual infrastructure on the private building lots that would dump into that 6-inch line. That 1 6-inch line would take it across the street into the main line.
Does it tap on directly or couplers, or how does that connect?
Scott has a specific style T that he recommends that he states we need to use.
Just the front code is made for quick on.
Do you know how many people would be using?
Yeah, so it would be 3 duplexes, so 6 dwelling units, so EDUs, equivalent dwelling units, 2 bedroom, 1 bath on each side. So you would have it ultimately 4 bedroom, 2 bath per structure. And then, not just for this situation, there's many situations in town where this is applicable. You know, we're just trying to figure a path forward that's repeatable, where someone's not getting an advantage over the other. So, I mean, without, really coming out saying that, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, infrastructure is a big, big expense. And, when we're talking excavating, street closures, repaving, telling somebody they have to do it this one particular way, and then a month later, somebody else does it, and it's done 180 degrees different from that one. It kind of, it makes it difficult for folks to, and then they've been told this is how it needs to be, and then the day that it is supposed to happen, it's done completely different in the past. So we just want to avoid those types of scenarios. This is what, how does it have to be? What makes the most sense economically for everybody? The one board, I think, suffices everybody's situation. Like I said, no one's balking at the tap fee, or that's not impeding the town from collecting on their monthly sewer bills, because each EDU is collecting. There's gonna be an individual meter. Each EDU is gonna be collecting on said sewer. But the difference is we're not impacting the road 6 times, we're impacting it once.
Did Scott discuss with you the policy reason why he was suggesting that?
Not particular. He told me it was 6, but the ordinance says because it's an EDU that we don't need to do them individually. We can do one crossing for one,
For each building.
for each duplex. We're trying to simplify it even more. I mean, a 4-inch pipe will handle well more than 10 individual structures, 10 dwelling units. So we're just saying, put 6 on a 4-inch. You can make it 6 if you want. But that's over-engineered by 300%.
You said recently someone did it without.
Not without, but they've been told that they had to cross 4 different times.
And they did.
And the day that it was crossed, here's the disconnect. Scott can tell you one thing, but when it comes to inspect it and actually do it, somebody else is giving the okay on it. And so it may.
From the sewer?
Yeah. Scott said, he doesn't inspect the tap. He said that's the street part. So there's maybe a little bit of disconnect there.
Where is it not done that way?
Here by the park.
Bill Biden.
Oh, is there not done like that?
So you got one.
He's got 2 duplexes, all 4 units coming into his side, on his side of the road, and then crossing once.
Man, could I make a comment?
Absolutely.
It's my property down there viewing what Darlene had 14 years ago. So I tore the old trailers down. There were 3 trailers going into one, and then the old house. We wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't right for the town. You guys aren't losing a dime on the deal. We just need to make it work so Carlos and Joanne can build their duplexes there. That's what we're after. I spent thousands to resurvey it, get it lined out that Darlene never had done. I brought it all up to date. I got the prints laid out in my car. If you ever want to look at them, I'll leave you a copy of them. We'd love to get this done. When's the last time somebody came out and said, hey, we want to build 3 or 4 duplexes together in Ewing? I know 2's going on right now, and they're beautiful. And they're down with them. But we're planning on doing 3 right there on the main drag. That's what we're after. And I appreciate your help. And I'll answer any question you've got. And that was all done way before any of you was here 14 years ago. Is when Darlene, through the help of me, and I got those purchased through Gene Moore's that had those old nasty trailers there. And we cleaned that in town up. So that's the situation. Thank you.
Down there by, is it ST or STI? TSI, we're running into a problem with that right now, is it's done like that. Everyone went into, their laterals all went into one, and one goes into the main. And now it's all owned by different people, and no one wants to pay for the problem down there right now.
That's one of my concerns about doing it this way. I know you're over engineering it, but if there is a choke up, that's one thing as a con doing it that way is who's responsible for it. After all, so, and on Mr. Heidi's property, I think what happened there was they were doing 2 6-inch lines, and they started getting a bunch of groundwater coming in because they were actually going lower than what the pond was. So they thought they may damage the street, what have you, so they decided to go with one at that time. So,
Yeah, I mean, just from understanding some of these things, basically, and knowing Scott well, here, this recommendation wouldn't be, without some forethought. So the first one is maintenance and liability. Each unit has its own clean out. Each unit will have its own lateral. Each person is responsible for it. They put it down the sink. And if that lateral gets clogged because they're dumping bacon grease and white down it or whatever it may be, they can be responsible for that. And this is not to say that, I'm sure, and I can't speak for the board necessarily, but ultimately, they're sensitive here, and I think it's awesome that you guys want to invest here, and that's, and everybody here thinks that as well. But I'm also sure that Scott was also concerned about flow monitoring and enforcement, because the infiltration is a lot harder to detect on a single and on. So if you have an issue with gray water flooding through and creating issues into the sewer, you can identify that easier through the lateral. Also, if one duplex is sold in the future, and then there's an issue with a shared collection system, that could also become a problem. And it's also standard engineering practice through IDA that each BDU has its own lateral. If you are correct, there isn't something on point, but I mean, I don't want to speak for Scott, but my guess is that's what his thinking is. Because his perspective is, okay, if something goes wrong, what's the easiest diagnostic approach for the town to fix this affordably? And I think that's the approach. You know, and I would advise the town not to make an ad hoc decision tonight on this. I think that we should speak to Scott. Maybe if we could see the cost differential as well.
Absolutely, and this was just bringing it to the table.
We appreciate
We're willing to work with you guys anyway, and like I said, you know, best case scenario would be the one lateral. I mean, I think most people are willing to accept the one lateral per duplex. I think that's, you know, you're not gonna sell a second side of a duplex, we're not condominiums, they're actual, it's duplex. So, you know, if we can ultimately get to that, I think that would be a more acceptable, you know, and a little bit easier for folks to swallow. And I think there are already 3 laterals there from the previous units. You know, we're going to be putting in brand new laterals. We're not going to be reusing anything existing. But you know, we were just thinking, you know, conversely with the impact with the residents on the lines, you know, we're talking digging up the street in 6 locations. I mean, that's a huge expense. I mean, now we're talking 70 feet of no asphalt, you know, right on top of each other. So it's a busy street.
Do you have plans that aren't like this size, so we could maybe get a copy and email?
Yeah, we're in the process of working on that right now, I mean, because there was so many unknowns with the infrastructure. We're getting pricing on that. You know, this is what's contingent of the deal going through or not, basically. I mean, if we come back and this is gonna cost $50,000 to bore 6 lines, then there's no way this is gonna happen. You know, it's dead. Terry's not selling these lots, you know, Carlos said to get these duplexes, and, you know, it is what it is.
So you guys have a timeline, because I think that can help us function and make sure that we stay on top of the issue with respect to funding or anything like that, so we can respect the.
That's more on you guys, because I know, I don't think has the purchase of the land happened yet.
No, we're just waiting 30 days, because in the surveying that got done, there was a small piece that Brownstown still owns, believe it or not, in the middle of that yard. And Colton Fleetwood's in the process of getting that taken care of. It's just something that was overlooked many, many years ago. So in this new survey, that pie-shaped area, maybe 10 by 30, in a kind of triangle shape, that's all going to be annexed into that and taken care of.
We've even like broached the subject, you know, even installing a manhole on that side of the line, you know, so we're all these, we put in our own infrastructure underneath the duplexes, and they can get into an individual manhole on our side of the road, right? But there's your clean out point. You run the one line over each individual dwelling unit. Both sides will have their own individual clean outs on them, so you'll be able to stake those lines individually into that manhole.
And I know when you and I talked, Matt, you know, I told you be no decision here making. I know what you guys had to say and kind of hear it. Thank you for coming.
Sure.
We had talked to Scott about this, and he mentioned that idea. So you got a couple options, maybe, but there's pros and cons whatever you do. So I think,
Well, you know, this is twofold. One, just to get an actual procedure here, you know, figure out what we need to do, and how to make it repeatable. So the folks like Jason and other folks that are wanting to invest in town can do so economically. You know, again, it is.
we definitely don't want to make it harder on anybody, but we want to make sure that it's the right thing going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You gotta be able to manage it as well.
The council 15, 20 years from
And
now.
I knew there were other, you know, that's the reason why I knew what its success is to eliminate said situations like that.
Yeah, there with the greenhouse and that, it's a mess right now.
I mean, I think we got normal residents in town, and like old residents, like these houses on the road that have got lateral sided to each other. So,
So Matt, essentially what we're looking for from you is then an application for Americans.
okay.
Okay, and so that way we can get the data on what it is that you guys are proposing. I think some basic information we need would be, flow calculations, piping sizing, clean out locations, and some type of maintenance agreement. If you're gonna have a private collection facility that the town's gonna be utilizing, we're gonna probably wanna know some information about that. And then we can sit down with Scott. And then another concern, is to make sure that what the superintendent of the sewer utility is saying is somehow not being changed in the back end by the street department.
Absolutely, that was my concern, because that's what I think upsets people more than the actual process itself. It's like, okay, we're following the rules, we're doing the right things, and then the day of, you know, it's not how we do it. And, you know, if you're the one that's benefiting off that, you're not gonna have a complaint, right? But if you're the one that's done this now 4 or 5 times and had to do it the other way, I'd be complaining. Because they've been negatively impacted huge financially by having to do it that way.
Did you have something you wanted to show?
I was just gonna show it. So we met with S and J actually on this. So what they had talked about, where this line sits at, right here is the old TJ's bar. There's a manhole in that intersection by where Markle's gun shop is. They were talking about bringing that in at a lateral, putting a manhole on this side of the road, running one main all the way down, putting a clean out on the very east end of it, running your laterals into it. So you have a clean out on the very east end, everything going into a manhole, and just making sure that's sized properly to what the town wants.
I think
And then you shut the road down, what?
Each lateral going into the main?
Yes, into the,
to the main that they run across.
Yeah.
to the one main that we've
Private
across,
property, yeah.
that we've provided.
And I think what we need items approval on that, and it's, a survey would have to be involved in, and item have to approve that, I think, for Scott, so.
And you know, you're talking about the road being shut down for 1 or 2 days versus a month, probably for 6 or 7 boars.
There's a 4th property on that, in that John land as well, so there's another spot for future build that would, they're not trying to group into this duplex, but it would be its own
It's on the
individual.
east side of the old liquor
They're not
store.
expecting to tie that into that infrastructure, they would be willing to make that connection.
Across from the meat locker, that old red brick building.
You know, the liquor store?
I didn't.
Yeah, act like
Learn
you're,
something.
act like you're that young.
Still on the grassy area right now. It was a lot, Darling gave half to the church and kept half. So there's a
And there's
30.
that little craft store or something, was it, wasn't there a little
Yes,
painter?
Brian was in there for a while, for painter. Yes, that did all the architecture work on the side of W.R. Ewing, all those bridges and stuff. Brian did those paintings for her. Yeah, and actually lived there for a while.
And we have the front of those if you guys are out driving. Those are staked off down there. It's staked.
Don't even ask me that, what's going on down there.
Yeah, we did stake those off, so the buildings will be 30 foot wide. You've got your 5 foot setback, so 10 foot in between each building.
That's where the new Chick-fil-A's going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Down in the.
Well,
You didn't know ours, did you?
Okay, You guys be able to follow up, give us more information.
Yeah, we were hoping to maybe do a follow-up for the next meeting. I think Scott does his report in the next one, so, you know.
Do you want on the agenda for the
Yeah,
next
go ahead,
meeting?
go ahead, throw us on there. Yeah,
Yeah, obviously, we need that info.
yeah, absolutely. We'll start working on it.
Thank you, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
What did you say that was?
It's a variance.
Application.
Combination
for
for variance, block outs, pipe sizing, you said a maintenance schedule or
Who's
maintenance
responsible
plan?
for maintenance?
Maintenance
It's gonna be respon yeah, what's the maintenance plan and how that can be potentially managed. And then we'll meet with Scott once we get the information and see if something that makes sense, and so we can try to bring this project to fruition.
Thank you. Great.
All right, next up, we've got a sewer adjustment for 206 North Street. There was a link between the meter and the house, which has since been repaired. With this, the average sewer usage per month is 3,350 gallons. Gallons to be adjusted for the county is 25,950 gallons. Amount to be adjusted for the county, $262.35.
Motion to approve the sewer adjustment of $262.35 for 206 North Sugar Street.
Dan make a motion, is there a second? Second. Brian makes a second, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. And so that passed. Okay. Next up is the Brownstown Planning and Zoning update. I have had conversation with an individual. They are mulling that over and getting back.
Good deal.
So we will have some news on that shortly. Okay. We have anything else under new business?
Just, I guess it's considered old, but they're gonna be here this week, Mills basketball court. Fix it next week, so we get the goals in. So when Gray comes and fixes the goals, he's going to also do a little work for what Duke lunches.
Okay.
So fix that for us, but he also has to prep for the hill slide. So Duke's supposed to come this week, next week to have me look at it. My understanding it's still the customer responsibility, but, you know, see what we can't get done.
Okay, so milling first and putting the whole up.
Milling, I guess. And then putting new asphalt. And goals.
Okay.
So that should be weather permitting, asphalt next week. Beginning of the week, end of the week, we can put the goals, so.
Do you have you determined the date of it?
Yeah, and then we need to do that because everyone, but I need to find out if. Because now the bike rodeo, you know, the bike rodeo we had last year, they want the bike rodeo to the park. Okay, they want the bike rodeo to be in June, and they want the bike rodeo, since the attendance was not as anticipated, they want to do it at the same time as the Tuesday night when we do free swim with the health department and the grand ribbon cutting with us. So they're trying to coordinate it all, but I'm wondering because is the Indiana Department of Health want to come down and have a ribbon cutting, we're all in a, you know what I mean, because we're still waiting on the second section to come in and put it in, and when last time they said, oh yeah, we'll be there, and it took longer than the anticipated date going on. It worries me, because I will set this date, and then we've got a hill slide half put in, we've got this all torn up for merry-go-round, and we've already planned this, and then I don't know what you guys. I think we either need to do it before all the install,
Right.
or after all the install. I don't think we need to do it midway.
Do you feel that
Guys, I got a car down here, I need to go, I got a child care
no people?
situation, my wife's on call tonight, and I'm already paying the babysitter who was supposed to be done by 7.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Starting to get texts for a lot of people. You guys, anything before I go?
No.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, Ed.
I got 5.
Do you think that like funding the state would be more important for them to see that? Like,
Do you think that could happen before, like, the last, I do like finding it with the first one, right, and like when the first beginning, but do you think that if it wouldn't, Summer community. Farming. Or, I mean, sorry, going to. The project is supposed to be done by mid-June. But the problem is, when I got all of the, bids and everything, I didn't, the original bid was, oh, here you go. I didn't take into consideration a few of the items that were previous, that were not written down. So that's why I had to revise it, so that took another week, so we're like 2 weeks behind that now. So I still don't have an anticipated date of when it will come in. I don't care.
As long as they agree to do it before the rest of the stuff comes in, right now that looks good. Just ask them, do you want to have a ribbon cutting now, or do you want to wait till everything? Because we're ordering more. It's done and complete now, but we are, I think, going to add more.
It's true. Okay. Then we can decide next week, because we need to do that. Yeah, and I don't think we have to have motions yet. Anyway.
As soon as you have date, you can.
Yeah. Shelter house, they're coming to put in the lighting, because we've lost all our lighting, so I think that's nice, so we're gonna just make that light again, come up at night, come down at night. The
So
shelter
you
down.
put that all the wiring from it? It
No,
looks-
the wiring is still there, they had like, I don't know what you call them. Lights that hung down, why anybody put those, I don't know, so the kids would take the lights and pull them. Well, now we're recessing them up in, so you'd have to literally take the roof off to get to them.
Okay.
I guess it was non-recessed lighting. So we're taking those off because they shut those off because kids were pulling them. Those are coming off and he's installing recessed lighting.
That's fairly low for them to be able to
Correct.
figure
I
out.
don't
where
know,
to
I
get
don't
the
know
savings.
how that came about.
Okay.
So that should be done. Sean was gonna call him today, have him proceed with that. My other question is, which Nancy Sterling had come to, the park board and we put it off, but now she wants to come back on Wednesday, so I hadn't asked the town, what's your thoughts on pickleball lighting? The big light, because I know we've had some issues with, surrounding people living, with the, what's going on in the pickleball, they don't like all the action, would they want action in the evening time with huge lights? Would that be an issue, do you think? What's the thought on that?
What kind of timetable are we looking for lights, like 24/7 or like,
Come on, night,
that's
then
about-
do shop at 11,
I think we gotta have some kind of
the noise ordinance.
courtesy.
The park closes at 1.
At 11, yeah,
Yeah.
see, at 11.
Okay.
But I, you know, that street.
It stays daylight till 9:30 in the summer.
I didn't know if those people would be upset with having that in a residential area, actually, bright light playing till 11. And installing lights, so they gotta go down that street again, I don't know, I just didn't wanna say, oh, yes.
Do they want to do their own lights or they want us to?
They're fundraising for their own lights, they're gonna do everything. Costs us like 35,000, I think, that's, and they were trying, I asked them if they would put off their fundraising, so we got this part done, but she wants to know if we will let her fundraise more. So she wants to fundraise as a business for the lighting.
So that we'll have some kind of photo control if it's hazy out or cloudy out, then you gotta turn around and fade. And pops on or.
Like the ones at the softball field, you can just walk up and turn them on, you turn them off and you're done.
But then like heating, but that would be.
You know, at the softball field, they're not, you can just walk up and turn them on.
First, we were kind of hesitant on it, the park board, because I don't know, if you walk over there, if you get to the pool, you can hear the click, 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 you can hear the pickleball.
Yeah.
Play, so if you're sitting there at night, do you really wanna hear the pickleball? You know what I'm saying, like, yeah, if it's during the day, you're gonna have that. But at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, do you wanna sit there and hear click, 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 click?
It's open until 11, it's open until 11.
What's there?
Is that one when you get feedback from those people and have them?
Does anything else have lights besides the baseball up there? Are you, the basketball or the
We don't have any lights up there yet, no.
volleyball, none of that have lights?
I was trying to get it so it all coordinated, and maybe have some decorative nice lights, so it all like cookies. I think they're great.
Do you foresee lights on your basketball court in the future?
I mean, we're gonna have some sort of lighting.
Well, you can't really tell her no and then put lights at your basketball court.
But I think your lights may be more for security
Correct. Mine would be security, not
rather
play.
than.
Not to play it in the
Right,
dark.
no, I don't play dark. Security, like you said.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get that shelter down there, the light, to light up at night, because you go there at night and kids are hiding down there, so if it's lit up. Then you think it's bad. That was my main concern, not necessarily to sit down and eat, but they hide down.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
How quickly, your board meeting is Wednesday.
Yeah. 15.
Oh, 15.
The third Wednesday?
Well, they should change it. Maybe the 15th.
Oh, what this is? It's like some kind of deal. So. Yeah, he lives down there, like.
So do we go ask them? What's their name? There's a few. I don't know. Yeah, the people behind that building would hear, but that building is like a public, maybe that store that building.
Whether you drop off like orientation the 15th and 76. That's right.
That's a good one.
I think you just type something up, drop it off. Mailbox or door.
Oh, like they can just come in and.
They can come to that meeting, and listen to it. That's a good idea.
That way,
It's not, it's like, it's just not, like, we're getting their feedback.
we're getting feedback.
And then if they just blow off the meeting, then you have a chance.
Said in the paper for their feedback. And I still think it's good that World's Clyde, that Nancy.
That's a good idea.
If you need,
What do you think about the fundraising? Just go ahead.
For fundraising.
I don't think the issue, but I think, maybe can't do the building.
Okay.
So I go back and say, I don't have an issue with security lighting, I don't think it's, I don't think maybe, with security lighting.
Are you gonna play like?
Are you gonna play lighting, then you're gonna be, okay, we're close to the weather, you gotta make sure we've got our gap respectful, and maybe we alter that, like, during the week.
Weekend versus weekend.
Yeah.
That's considered.
I mean, we have to post the room and say,
I do have, like, maybe we just change.
I think 11's not late. 11's late. As long as the baseball never goes over 10.
I think they always been grandfathered in institution. I don't know if you can't do anything on back there. That's it.
Well, you have people in there playing pickleball. You have to be able to stop them at 10 if they're just.
I think it was more so,
Thanks, Sean.
thank you,
Thank you.
the fall. Because when she first came, it was, it would start pretty earlier, but it's still nice out. You know what I mean? So people were like, oh, it's gonna start getting cold. Let's hold off a minute. And on the, it was more fundraising. Then you can't fundraise without.
I think there could be an organic solution to be made after parties are together on the spot. And they come back to, hey, we'll have 10, we'll lights till 10 o'clock, we'll have security lights, that will stay on, just security hit the property. I think that could be a company talking there.
What's a good idea? Okay.
And then at that point, the decision we made, is it worth us fundraising for $30,000-$40,000 for, and if you would start early the spring, late in the fall, it would be worth it. If not, you could probably have daylight until 9:30 at that point, looking 9:30, having them on for an hour.
Okay.
see my, you were patiently waiting.
No, I'm just, yeah, I'm very patient, wait. Sorry. As y'all know, Chief Painter will be resigning, July 6th will be his last day. He has a crew vacation time. I talked to him. He'd like to take some of it off and would be reimbursed for the rest, so if there's no issues with that, I can make a motion, we go ahead and give him a little time off between now and July 6th, give him the crew vacation time. Compensate for it.
So Ted makes a motion, Crystal makes a second, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. All those opposed, say the sign, and so that passed.
I typed up the paper saying that and had him sign it, and I signed it and I put it in his personnel file.
Okay, he and I talked about it, but.
Do you need a copy? Okay.
Thank you.
So anything else on the new business? So moved, is there a second?
Might I have something?
Too late.
I have my surgery next week. So I have it on Wednesday. I'll be back on the 27th. 29th. I'm supposed to take 2 weeks. I'm gonna come in like a couple hours a day and stuff like that. I'm just not gonna be able to stay all day. Like the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Obviously, I won't be here at all. The next week, and then to the 29th, it'll just be a couple hours a day or whatever I feel like doing. Mindy will be doing the minutes and stuff at the meeting on the 20th.
I'll be absent that meeting. I don't know, not because of Mindy. But I'll be absent.
Background, I have a motion to adjourn the first second. You're slating the second, all those in favor, say aye. All
Was Amy
opposed?
first?
Amy, yes. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you all for hanging around.
Well, Mr. Schwartz has a question, so you have to wait till you finish.
Yeah, I just, there's two